Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Buds One a Podcast. This is episode 76. I am your host, TheTechnojelly, with my co-host, Alchem Games. Alchem, it's actually been quite a, I don't know if I want to say heavy news week. I feel like we're slowly gearing up for all like the summer rush of stuff for the video game world. Like, there's been like, I've got really tiny all of a sudden. What the heck?
You did.
What happened to me? I don't know what. Okay, anyway. um we're in like the, what's the word I'm looking for, like the precipice of like Summer Games Fest. There's like four or five, I feel like four or five conferences that are happening like every other week. Luckily they're like just like the, the indie ones, so they're not that big of a deal. But a bunch of stuff happened last week, along with two video game reviews that I want to talk about, which because
All
they
right.
just they made me sad and angry. So many emotions, honestly. So with that said, though, there is something I want to talk about that is a follow up to something that we talked about. I feel like a while ago now. It's almost a month or two past. Is that Roblox has actually done some stuff. Like Roblox has actually changed for the better, I think. So, what I'm talking about is Roblox is releasing new roles basically for the platform. They're called oh god. Roblox Kids, Roblox Select, and Roblox. Roblox is turning to 16 plus. Roblox Select is 9 to 15 and Roblox Kids is under 9. Which, makes
Oh,
sense because, like, let's be real, the stories that we have said during the podcast is whenever it's about Roblox, it's about bad things happening to kids. Almost always.
yeah.
And, like, Roblox is, don't get me wrong, Roblox can be an amazing tool for kids and all that type of stuff in terms of video game expression, all that good stuff, all that stuff that the marketers say. The problem is that it's not a safe platform for kids.
Nope,
And
it can just as easily be used against them.
yeah, true. It's a horrible. Like, I'm not gonna say the word because it'll get us both banned. But like, it's a horrible place for everyone
The
knows the
den
word.
of scum and villainy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't say the
yeah, we won't
yeah.
say the word because bad word for internet, and I'll get banned. But yeah, so there is some details on the actual, like, what this means. Like, what does it mean for Roblox Kids? So basically, Roblox Kids access to games with minimal or mild content maturity label, all communications disabled by default, which I can't believe wasn't a thing already. Parents have the option to enable chat, however, it will be restricted to trusted friends and users under 13. Party chat will be unavailable, and a distinct blue background, which, sure. So, honestly,
Wow.
um, I'm curious. Okay, I guess this is me not knowing Roblox at all. I can't remember. Alchem, do you know Roblox at all?
No,
I don't
I
know what
barely played it.
minimal or mild content maturity label means in terms of Roblox. You know what I mean? From the like outcry that I've seen, it's not like, super, like, I haven't seen people like complain about it too much. Like, reasonable people, obviously. Like, obviously, there are going to be, whatever, Twitter be angry always, but it's going to be interesting to see how this actually helps, because, like, okay, what I'm trying to say is, how easy is this to bypass is what I'm mostly concerned about,
Uh,
for the people going after the kids and for the kids themselves. Because we also know, because, like, I'm sure you and I have talked about it before, Alchem, we all played video games. All gamers have played video games that were technically not you're not supposed to. I played mature games way before I was 18, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Every kid has done this. So how easy will it to be for kids to get around this? Because the biggest flaw I see in this is that these are different types of apps, I think, that access the Roblox platform. Pretty much every kid that I've ever seen use Roblox is not using that. It's not their phone. It's their parents' phone. It's their parents' iPad. It's their parents' computer. So like the age on that device is not going to be their age.
Not at all.
So like if that's that's going to be super easy to bypass. I feel like. And
It will be.
I guess
Now,
it's one of those. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, all right. The issue here is it falls under two things. One, Roblox has to either come to terms with the fact that they are at this point in time what they are, based on how Roblox can be categorized into subcategories for all the different games that people have made into it. They are a platform, and putting out whenever something gets made, whether it's a individual person who creates it, like a private creator, like just someone doing it for fun, or a group or organization, or even them themselves on their platform on Roblox. They need to view it. They need to review it. They just like how we currently have like the ESRB kind of stuff, who is checking games. We have all these different things, all the different organizations that review and give ratings and stuff. They have to kind of come to terms that they either need to have a system to review these games and give it the rating it is, so they can categorize it, especially now that they're going to categorize the different groups of individuals, like kids, preteens, and adults. They're going to have to come to terms with they have to do this for each and every single one of their things. Granted, that's such a huge thing to do, considering that they just let creativity run wild there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even possible.
That's why it's the other thing will have to be parents actually will. Most parents don't want to hear this, but parents will actually have to parent. You can't just plant them in a Roblox, because Roblox has shown over and over again that they are not 100% like child safe. They've shown that kids have been exposed to terrible things, to individuals, terrible individuals. It has happened many times. It's gotten out in the news. It's out in mainstream, and by that I mean just outside of the internet culture. So parents really need to acknowledge that. Look, if your kids are playing Roblox, just take a moment and look at what they're playing. But
or not even just look at, ask them what they're playing.
I don't think that would work. I don't think most kids would tell them.
I think if the kid is excited about the game that they are playing, they will be happy to talk about it. You know? Like I'm not like, you can do both. You can look over their shoulder if you're curious, and you could ask them about it, you know? Like I think, because we're talking about young kids. We're not talking about like teenagers, you know what I mean? Young kids are willing to talk about anything, and they're trustworthy to a fault in every single way. So if you ask them what is this game, they will tell you exactly what it is most of the time, you know? Like of course you're going to get those kids who are trying to do bad things, or like, you know, they're not going to tell their parents everything. Of course, you know, people, who would have thunk kids lie to their parents sometimes, you know? But like that doesn't mean you can't even attempt, you know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, well, if they're up to something, then they would definitely just try to hide it a bit more.
But like kids are also sometimes terrible liars. So like, you know, I think they should. The problem is that there is zero parenting happening as well, along with zero self-regulation. Because I think the thing that you're talking about, Alchem,
it's a two-pronged thing.
Yeah, it's both sides.
Yep.
Because both are at fault. Just one we can change, and the other one we can't, because we can't help parents parent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
no, you cannot.
There can be things done to Roblox, which luckily it seems they are doing things I feel like the things you were talking about, Alcom, like they're I feel like the age rating or thing like the E for everyone type of style stuff you're talking about, honestly, they probably should just do that and make it self regulated. To be fair, the ESRB is technically self regulated as well. Like it is technically a company,
Yeah.
right? So like it's because I don't think the what's it called, the ESRB is a government thing. I'm pretty sure it's a company, if I remember correctly. It's a self-regulating
Yes.
company from the video
Yes.
game industries.
Industry. Yes.
So like just one of the biggest outcries that I have seen from the Roblox community with my limited knowledge of them is they're incredibly frustrated at one, customer service basically, because like, you know, they report people and nothing happens, and the ability, like the reporting systems themselves. So if they just improved it so the Roblox community can regulate themselves, then they don't even have to do that much other than some basic stuff. Like obviously you have to set up the tools. But apparently it is too
The
much.
tools are too
It was
much.
too much until it became news and their shareholders were hurting.
Yeah, basically. I
So,
mean, it's always the biggest way to make changes is usually to go for the money,
yeah. Yeah.
especially when it comes to these kind of industries. It's proven time and time again. Just go for the way to go for the throat is to go for the wallet. But
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we'll have to see how secure this system is.
yeah, there is some extra stuff, for instance, that they have said that does, in my opinion, help a little bit. For instance, Roblox will not allow Roblox kids and Roblox Select to feature games with sensitive issues, social hangouts, or free-form drawing games. However, parents can
Okay.
approve specific games that are otherwise unavailable to their child. So like
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
like the ones that are really bad, like the ones that are just chat rooms, the ones that are just drawing games, the ones that like once again sensitive issues, what does that mean? But like I understand they're doing the broad strokes because you have to cover a lot of topics. I get that. And
Mhm.
I think the problem is that I have with this is that this is a good first step, and I'm worried that this is going to be the only step. You know what I mean? Like,
I- I'm over here just curious. What's stopping an individual? Okay, okay. Uh, this is definitely something they have to think of because this is probably something that someone would do. What is stopping someone with ill intentions to the younger audience or the younger player base from creating a player account that is under those categories? I mean, I guess they can't talk to
well,
each other. I
like
don't know if they can voice.
by default, chat like communication stuff is disabled,
Yeah, I guess so. So there you go.
and
So
when they are like, for instance, for the Roblox kids, when they do enable it, it is restricted to trusted friends and users under 13. So like even the people you can talk to is limited. I don't know if I agree with the users under 13 thing. I feel like it should only be trusted friends for the
mm,
chat stuff.
there
But
you go. I feel like some people. Okay, again, the depths of which some people will go to
that
manipulate
is
or
true.
trick people can go very far. So I'm just like, what's stopping people from playing the long game to build someone's trust? Well, not just one person. They probably could be doing it with multiple people. Build their trust to eventually just be able to communicate directly with them. I mean, hopefully it's not as simple as I'm thinking. Hopefully there's a lot of
Probably not.
deterrent there. Hopefully Roblox has actually had some forethought about this, and
I mean,
I
I
mean,
mean,
hopefully we don't hear about news about horrible stuff happening.
yeah. I mean, the one problem is Alcom, the
Mm.
people that you're talking about that are willing to go those lengths. I don't. Unfortunately, it sounds terrible to say this. I don't know if you're stopping them. Like, if they're willing to go as far as possibly can, they're like
We're just setting
all
the
you
hurdle
can
higher, aren't they?
all you can do is try to stop them. But if they're willing to do everything to do stuff like this, well then, unfortunately, I'm not saying you shouldn't just let them, obviously, but like you just have to keep trying. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those
Yeah,
things where like it's a terrible thing to say, but it's if when people are willing to go those lengths, you just have to keep trying. You have to keep trying new things, and that's why I'm
You
worried
can
that this is
only,
not the first step. This is the only step.
I mean, you're right. I just feel like, okay, I feel this is not a Roblox thing. I feel like lately the latest generation has gotten less and less precautious when it comes to like online
Yeah,
internet safety.
yeah.
I guess yeah, it would be
They
internet
need
safety.
to. They
How
need
we
to.
were
Go
they
ahead.
need
Sorry.
refresher courses on how to behave or how to like protect yourself online, and most of it to you and me seems like common sense,
Yeah.
and most of it is literally just be wary of who you're talking to. Like, just it literally boils down to do not trust the individual you are meeting for the first time online. Do not give your information. Do not give this. Do not tell them all your stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays most people just immediately blab everything. And like,
Yep.
my name is this. I live here. These are my social phobias. This is my medical history. These are my like quirks and like what you just met them. What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean,
But
to be fair to the kids that are like that, we didn't grow up with social media. Like we by the time social media really was a thing, you and I
mhm.
weren't kids. Like let's be real here. You know?
I was still taught as a kid when I was
Yeah,
learning
it's
the internet.
true. It's true. But like
I was taught to treat it like still meeting a stranger out there. It's just that that with like we don't
yeah.
actually get to see them.
Yeah, but the thing is like that's just so normalized now. Meeting people on the internet is so normal now that people let their guard down, you know, because like you
Instantly.
like when you meet someone in
Mhm.
person, people talk like that. Like maybe not like, I mean, to be fair, you don't have to tell them like where you live because you're meeting them in person, obviously you're around, but like, you know, when you meet someone in person, it's you're more willing to say stuff to them. And the thing is, meeting people online, especially with the pandemic that happened, it's much more normalized.
That's true. That changed a lot of people's
Like
perspective of
obviously
online interaction.
this has been a problem in Roblox way before the pandemic, but like it didn't help.
True. This no, this kind of like broke down the wall of people's security measures in
Yeah,
terms of like social measures.
yeah,
Social security, I guess, would be the that. Let me rephrase that because that's a term for something
it
else.
is a term for something. Internet safety.
Social social like barriers. There we go.
Yeah,
So, like
it
it's
really
like
hurt. It really hurt. I mean, like I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen some people when I've gone out a couple times, and they're like people that like went through school and stuff like that through the pandemic, and like they cannot talk to people. Like it is,
no, it
it's
really
horrible. It's
destroyed some people's
yeah,
way to interact. Like,
yeah,
holy crap.
yeah.
It was only like 3 years, my God, 4 years,
I mean
3 years, 4 years. I don't
I mean
remember.
that's all of high school for some of these people.
Oh my God, right. It did screw up a generation. You're right. There was because I know middle school is like 3 years,
Yeah,
so that most
that's
likely
literally all
screwed
of
up
high
quite a
school.
few.
It's not only you also have to
Woo!
remember that that's potentially all of high school or all of university slash college.
Oh boy, those kids are fucked. Oh
Yeah,
man,
well,
good
it's not
luck
even
with
just
that.
kids. I mean, those are just young adults. Like I was talking about young adults to be fair, because to be fair, I'm not
Those
meeting
young
many
adults are
kids.
fucked.
Yeah, so like
Oh
it's messed up, and
no.
it's just Roblox is not helping. That's the problem. You know what I mean for the kids and the teenagers. Well,
Uh,
I guess as teenagers, I don't know if many teenagers play Roblox. I'll be real, but you know what I mean.
yeah, no, I do. I totally understand. But oh
Um,
my goodness. Oh.
yeah. So the robots Roblox Select accounts, the ones that are for 9 to 15-year-olds, are less restrictive. Access to games with minimal, mild, or moderate content maturity label. For ages 9 to 12. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Users will have access to see experience chat, which I don't know what that is. From from my brief reading, I think experience chat is either trusted users and or people with older accounts. Like newer accounts won't appear in experience chat from what I can tell. Once again, not a Roblox player, so I'm not entirely sure. But unless a
Just
parent
making
permits
up
their
everything as
child
we
to
go.
use, yeah, but unless parent permits their child to use chat in game, it is not enabled by default. So it's chat is still basically still disabled. They
But
can't chat with
mom,
users
I
under
can't hear
16.
what my team is saying when we're playing. I won't know what they're saying.
True, true.
Mom!
Yeah.
And yeah, and there you go. Someone
They
just
can
you
use
just
party chat for trusted friends or groups of 6 after receiving parental consent. For ages 13 to 15,
hmm,
chat is enabled by default. Text and voice chat options are also available. Users can chat with ages 9 to 17 or trusted friends.
hmm. Well then.
I don't know if I agree with that. Why why is this not 2 different accounts? Because it seems like they've labeled them 9 to 12 and then 13 to 15. Like, why are there 2 different rule sets for the same people in the same account? That's kind of weird. But I guess
Yeah, that is.
I guess they didn't want to make 4 different versions of Roblox.
Hmm, probably. It's just, we'll have to see what happens after this. I do hope that this is a step in the right direction and that does impact the interactions that happen on Roblox. Because sadly, yes, Roblox apparently has a big influence and is very popular, and I can understand why because I've seen some of the little mini games that people have made. I'm not
Yep.
into it myself, but I've seen the creativity and I can understand the draw. So it is a shame that the game has a marred history where younger kids are being shown horrible stuff or being exposed to horrible things, and when it's really just supposed to be a fun, cool game that they can grow up enjoying.
Yeah.
Because I know that because I've had the same situation. I had games that I grew up with a community, an online community. There's nothing quite as unique besides growing up in school, besides growing up with your classmates in school and everything, you're all going through the same ordeals, except they're all in your own unique way. There's nothing else as unique as having an entire game community that you grow up with and like you all start to know each other. So to have that just be tarnished and it kind of sucks for them. So
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, this can work. This will work, and they'll be able to make nice friends when they play games. I don't know.
Yeah. The biggest
Hopefully not.
problem. Go ahead. Sorry.
eh, and not I was gonna say something, but it was gonna be like and not get horrible stuff
Yeah.
happen to them.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem as well is that, at least from what I can tell, is that the content labels, like, you can just label them anything you want. Like, for the creators, like, I'm seeing
Uh,
people complain, is like, this is a good step, but like, they need to moderate the games more. Like, one of the people on Twitter is like, games can currently give themselves whatever rating they want. So, for example, there are games rated 5+ but have lingerie. That's not
uh,
appropriate for a 5-year-old.
uh,
Which, I mean, yeah, that is a problem. And the problem is like I said, like, this is not a good. This is a good first step, but I'm still very
Self
concerned that this
moderation doesn't
is.
work.
Yeah.
Self moderation doesn't work in a game and in a I guess a game environment or gaming environment where people can make money off of it. You
Yeah.
need actual moderation. People
Yeah.
make money off of these games, so they will do stuff like this because it
Yeah.
will get them more sales.
Yep.
As long as there's no moderation from the actual creators and the actual not the creators making these mini games or these other side games from actual Roblox themselves. And I know this is a huge task. This is tremendous. Like I'm pretty sure there's multiple games being made more than 1,000, more than 2,000, more than 10, probably being made on the daily because it is that massive. But they have to figure out something. There either has to be a better report system or they have to be able to provide some kind of way to moderate or rate stuff themselves. Which I don't know how they're going to do that because no one has yet to do a thing like that where individuals, when you have a game that has a massive online community that can make their own thing in said game, I don't think anyone has actually done. Not even you. I mean, YouTube is trying to do it with their own platform of like your videos, but the bots can
Yeah.
only do so much too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's a mess. But hopefully it gets better. Hopefully. I mean, that's the only thing we can really try to say.
I really hope we don't come back to this and like say it happened again.
Yeah.
Another something-year-old has something has happened to them, and
Yeah.
I really hope not.
Hopefully no.
Yeah, you know.
Um moving on to I don't know if I want to say happier,
Yeah.
maybe funnier. It's definitely going to be funnier. So, do you remember fair game money sign or dollar sign, Malcolm?
No.
So, this is one of the games that you and I have talked about a decent amount because this is one of the games that Haven Studios is making, one of the PlayStation people. You remember when we were talking about PlayStation a while ago when Hytale, Concord, and all that type of stuff was happening? This is PlayStation's other free-to-play shooter that they're apparently releasing. Remember
What?
that one?
No. What?
Yeah, because they released a trailer like a few years ago and basically nothing. So, the reason we're talking about it right now, because first of all, Fair Game Dollar Sign, I don't think is the name. I think it's the project name or something like that. It's Fair Games, but the S is a dollar sign. The development. So okay, this is from an insider. Development hasn't been smooth. Testers reportedly struggled with the fun factor, and it is shifting to a free-to-play extraction shooter. So, I hate to say it, Alchem, but this is doomed. Like, this is actually doomed.
Oh boy.
Like, it's already being called Concord 4.
Oh.
Like,
4.
yeah.
Wait. Wait. How do we have Concord 4? That
Concord?
we had yeah, Concord is obvious Concord. Then we had I forget what the name
Highgaurd?
it's called. The highgaurd. Thank you. I forgot about that. Highgaurd. So what's 3? That's
Actually,
don't remember.
I have no idea what's 3.
Concord
They might be talking about Last Flag as number 3. It's Pirate Nation that tweeted this. I don't know what they're calling Concord 3 actually. Let me quickly check.
Yeah, that's weird.
I do not know, but yeah, so I can't. Oh god, this every time we talk about this game outcome, it's like, what the heck have they been doing for the past like 4 years or something like that? Because that's how long they've been working on this thing, and it's not looking good. Because I'd hate to say it, Outcome, but I don't think that and people are really going to be that interested in a free to play extraction shooter. Like, unless they absolutely knock it out of the park, you know. But like,
I mean, okay.
literally, the
I think
testers
we've reached
themselves, the testers
Ye-
themselves are saying they're having problems with the fun factor.
Hmm.
But what were you gonna say, Outcome?
No, I was gonna say I believe we're nearing the end of the plateau area of extraction and battle royales, where
Yeah.
when you hear okay, when I say we reach the end of the plateau, meaning like everyone does it and everyone's okay with it, I mean that you hear extraction shooter and you can hear not like everyone, but like a group of people starting to sigh and sour on the concept of hearing extraction or battle royale. Like we're nearing the end where it's like it's the most popular thing,
Yeah.
or it's like everyone's saying.
I mean,
I mean, what's going to
unfortunately,
take over? I don't think anything's going to take over it because it's just one of the most bread and butter
yeah.
game concepts. But yeah.
I mean, like, the problem is that literally, okay, the studio founder left in 2025. The project is
Oh,
still apparently being funded, fully backed by Sony. or PlayStation, depending on who you ask. But like, okay, you know what the problem I have with this Alchem is that the original pitch for this game sounds more interesting to me than what it's pivoting to, because it's pivoting to a free to play extraction shooter. It
Yeah.
was apparently a pure competitive heist game. So I think it's PvP payday is what they were making, basically, which, like, that sounds interesting to me. But the problem is that that doesn't sound like backed by Sony amount of sales. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a problem they were probably running into. Also, I mean, they were struggling with fun factor, so maybe it wasn't like, maybe it sounds good on paper, but it just wasn't like good enough or obviously fun enough for it to stay. The problem is that they announced this game too soon, because like I said, this game has been announced for like the past like 4 years. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard anything from it. And let me just quickly Google it again. Fair Game $. It was announced. Let's see. It was announced a while ago. Let me see if I can figure out when it was announced. Oh god. Google searches suck nowadays, Alchem. It makes me sad. Fair Games announcement. Oh, okay. The problem is that when I type that, now they're all talking about the announcement that it's turning into an extraction shooter, and I'm sad. Original announcement, maybe. Original announcements. Okay. Fair Games was announced at Sony's PlayStation Showcase at May 2023. Okay, so it wasn't that long ago, actually. So 3 years. But, like, that sounds like a major pivot. Right? Like, I'm not crazy, right,
Yep.
Alchem? Like, a pure competitive heist game to a free-to-play extraction shooter sounds like a major pivot. So, like, we're still probably, like, 2 years away from this game coming out. Reasonably. Like, if this game comes out this year or next year, this game is being sent out to die and being just written off as losses for Sony, probably. Right? Similar to
Likely.
similar to Concord.
Very
Because,
more than
like,
likely.
yeah, it's not looking good. And I just can't believe that this is happening, really. Oh, people are sorry. People are calling Marathon Concord 3. Though I don't think it's Concord 3.
Oh, that's what I was thinking Marathon, but I didn't think
I
Marathon.
don't
I
think
don't think
Marathon is
Marathon's
Concord.
dying.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't think
Marathon
it's
is Concord.
Concord. Yeah. I don't
Marathon
think
is
it's
an
that category.
yeah, Marathon is an unfortunate story, but I don't think it's a Concord level amount.
Yeah.
People are
No,
throwing
I
the
don't think so
Concords
either.
out too loose, I think. People are forgetting how big of a
Yeah.
failure Concord really is, and you need to be a really big failure in order to earn the label Concord, in my
To earn
opinion.
that, yeah.
And so far,
Yeah.
only highgaurd has labeled that. Unfortunately, from what I can tell, maybe Last Flag is going to have that too, depending on how much money they spent on that game. And I bet you don't even know
Mm-hmm.
what game I'm talking about, Alchem. So, like,
Oh no, I know which one because I was
oh,
curious about getting it, and I was like, should I
oh,
get it? Should I
same.
not? You're like,
And then I looked
yeah.
up the player count, and I was like, oh, I don't think I should get this.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't check the player count lately, so if it's that low now, nah, then never
On
mind.
launch day, it peaked
Yeah.
at like 500 players.
Oh.
And unfortunately,
Uh.
you know what the problem with, you know what, I have nothing else to say about Fair Games, so let's just go to Last Flag real quick. Because you know what the problem I have with Last Flag is, Alchem? If this
Yeah. What's
game
wrong with
didn't
Last
have,
Flag?
if it didn't have heroes or whatever they call them, I think people would have liked it way more.
Hmm. Oh, you're
Because
talking about if it didn't try to make a unique character for each hero and instead
yes,
just made.
if it was just
Yeah.
loadouts with a couple good voice acted characters, like if the characters were just character like skins, you know what I mean, that
Hmm.
you can even argue, like even do a thing sorry, like the finals have three character types, like a big guy, a small guy, and a medium guy. You don't even have to have differences other than like the speed and health, like just like the finals when it comes to speed and stuff, and
Yeah.
just have those different skins, and then you can have more voice acted character, like only have a couple of them, so you can have some real personalities, and then just have loadouts. Because the problem is, people are sick and tired of hero shooters, and I get it. Hero shooters still do very well. Like some of the biggest shooters are still hero shooters technically, but the problem is that everyone's sick of it. The only reason Marvel Rivals succeeded so hard is because it has the Marvel IP behind it.
Mhm.
Like if Marvel Rivals wasn't Marvel, I'm
And
pretty
it was trying
sure,
to introduce a universe of new characters
yeah,
that no one gives a shit about.
if it was just Rivals instead of Marvel Rivals, I'm pretty sure that would have been Concord 2,
Hmm.
you know? But like the thing is, it had the Marvel IP behind it. And, obviously it was a good game. It's not just the Marvel IP, but they also had a better game than Concord. But like,
It would have lasted a little longer than
I think they
most of
would
these,
have,
but it
they
still would have
probably would have.
fallen after a bit. It
I,
would have fallen off after like half a year.
I think they'd still be in the picture probably because the gameplay behind them is still very solid. But the reason it popped off so hard that it did is because of the Marvel characters.
Uh,
So,
I disagree
do you think so?
because we have games that are good in the shooting category, like Marathon, that's already looking weird in a weird spot right now. So I feel like
I don't
if
think
again, this is I think this is there. I think Marvel Rivals is really lucky that it has the Marvel name on it. If it didn't have it, I'm pretty sure this would have been just a generic hero shooter that would have gone by the wayside in at least half a year.
um
Because if they didn't have as many people playing it, then the
yeah,
developers wouldn't have focused as hard.
I guess you're right. It's hard to say because we don't know if they would have been
Yeah,
able
this is the
to,
what ifs. Yeah.
like the problem is that we know that they pumped out updates like crazy, but were they
Mhm.
pumping out updates like crazy because it was so successful, or were they planning that to do that anyway? And like,
I
so
mean,
I guess that is the real.
Highgaurd was trying to do that, but you saw
Well,
what happened
the
there.
problem with highgaurd is that they also were massively in debt, and they just didn't tell anyone. So
And the thing
like,
is, that didn't stop them from trying to like be ambitious with what they're gonna put out there.
yeah, I
It's
mean
just unfortunately no one really
the
got
problem
it.
with highgaurd is that if you gave the game 6 months to a year, I think they could have recovered. The problem is the money situation behind the scenes. They had to be
God.
they had to be an immediate success on launch day, or it was going to fail.
Yeah,
Like
a
the
lot of
problem is
these.
is that the employees and the devs either didn't know, were too ignorant to really care, or just weren't told that the money situation was bad, you know?
I feel like
And
it's just
the
naive
backing,
that they would think that they could sink or swim and they'll do well.
well, to be fair, the majority of the team was the team that made Apex
Yeah, you're right. You're
Legends.
right. You're right. And they weren't. Yeah, it seems like they weren't aware, or like I said, they were just too naive to think.
Like I
This is
think
gonna
there
be a
was
banger.
yeah, I think there was some ego. There was some ego in it, don't get me wrong, because they, like, to be fair, like I said earlier, it was the team who
Yep, Jeff
originally
Kaplan
made,
backing you.
yeah, like, and it was the most of the original, a lot of the original devs from Apex Legends, and Apex Legends, people forget, was shadow dropped, you know? I remember watching that announcement and downloading the game and playing it for like 10 hours, you know? Like some people that I talk to forget that I started streaming again because of Apex Legends. I played Apex Legends every day for 10 hours basically. Like I was an Apex Legends streamer for basically all of
Why?
2019 and the early of 2020. It's why I hate the EA, it's why I hate Origins so much, because I had to deal with it every day because it was the only way to play Apex at the time. It's literally the only reason I had it on my computer. Um, but yeah, so like, highgaurd is, once again, highgaurd is the reason I confidently call it Concord 2 is because it had basically the exact same problems of Concord at a slightly smaller scale, Like there wasn't as much money as Concord because people forget how much money Concord truly lost. And the difference is that Marathon is technically making some of that back. Like the reason I don't think Marathon is going to be as bad is because the it wasn't as drastic as a terrible launch day and launch week as Concord or highgaurd. There is players in the 5 to 6 digits sometimes. I guess not 6 digits, 4 to 5 digits playing every single day on most servers, you know? Through all the consoles and PC. So I think I'm more confident in them surviving. The reason I sometimes don't think they will survive is because it's not because of Marathon, it's because of Bungie. Because Bungie has failed Sony so hard. And they PlayStation or Sony bought Bungie for $3.8 billion. There's no way they made that money back. You know? Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard King for the 69 point something $billion. You can argue they're gonna make that money back with King alone. Not even Blizzard. Honestly, Activision and Blizzard are honestly small fry. King is where they're gonna make the money because they own freaking Candy Crush. You know, no matter how hardcore gamers that you are, everyone has played Candy Crush at some point. I played Candy Crush a bunch, actually. I actually really enjoyed Candy Crush.
Am I an anomaly here? Because I've never played Candy Crush.
Well, you've played games like Candy Crush, to be fair. Almost guaranteed. It's a match 3 game. Have you never played a match 3 game, Alchem? Really?
No, I don't think so.
Not even Honey Pop as a joke?
Oh, wait, Honey Pop.
Honey Pop is a match 3 game, so
Yeah, I guess I have played something from match 3.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the match 3 genre because it's not yeah,
time to look up Honey Pop.
I mean, they're working on a third one, aren't they?
Right. Yeah, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah. Did you never play Bejeweled?
No, I never played Bejeweled.
Really? That's surprising to me.
Yeah. I've seen others play it. It looks cool. I just never got a chance to play it myself.
But yeah. We went on this rant because there's so little about fair game that we hate it, and we the only reason I would say that if this is going to be another Concord for fair game is depends on how much money they spent. Because to be fair, they did announce it in 2023, but we don't know how long they've been working on it, and we don't know how long PlayStation's been backing it. So, and we don't know how much that means. Because, just because PlayStation's backing it and fully backing it, if it's a smaller studio, then that's not that much money. In the AAA way. They're still spending probably tens of millions of dollars, but we're talking about AAA budgets here, where, $50 million in AAA is nothing. Which is why when Expedition 33 came out, everyone's saying, what the heck is wrong with the industry? Moving on from Sony being terrible potentially, to Epic still being terrible, but this is really funny.
Oh, this is
So Epic recently laid off over 1,000 employees, right? Which is really sad. I think we talked about it. A couple of weeks ago. But the executive HR person was also laid off recently.
Yep.
Which is really funny. Because she was the person that was doing a lot of the PR speak, talking about the layoffs, saying that I don't even remember what she said, but it was really dumb, the stuff she said. It was super dumb that I forgot what it was. Because it was not good things to say, but she was fired. It's not public why she was fired, or if she was fired or laid off or she left. Because, to be fair, those are 3 distinct words when it comes to the corporate world. Most likely she was just laid off. But it is still really funny. Mostly in a sad way, because obviously someone's losing their job, so that still sucks.
Yeah,
But
it always sucks.
you know, she is in a much better scenario than a lot of people, unlike the person they cut, like the one guy that was in he had
Wasn't he
brain
like
cancer.
he had a lot of he had a lot of insurance stuff that health insurance that he needed support with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a brain cancer person.
yeah. It's just like
Which is
Jesus Christ, my
unfortunate.
guys. Just,
Unfortunate.
yep.
So yeah, that's a
Uh,
quick story to talk about because we've already talked about that, but I just wanted to mention that I saw that and I was like, that's funny.
I
But
mean,
it still sucks,
the
but at least somewhat funny.
at, at this point, I feel like the gaming industry does not feel like a secure field to go into right
No.
now, especially for the AAA
Well,
category.
the problem is that the AAA scene used to be the stable place where you go and you don't get paid. Like there isn't the potential of being all of a sudden becoming a millionaire because of your indie game,
Yeah.
but it's a steady job.
It's
You know?
stable, it's secure, as long as
Yeah.
your company is putting out good stuff, which most of them were in the past decade or so, I'd say maybe two
Yeah.
decades. But now we've hit this weird gray area where there's AAA games that are just flopping left and right. The interest to go into the battle royale, the free to play market is we need to hit it right out of the park day one, or else this whole thing was a giant flop, and we might have to recover revenue by just cutting down on people. So most of the game industry, especially like I said, AAA, not as secure as it used to be back then, which
Not even
sucks
close, it
for
feels like.
no, not at all. And so I feel like there's going to be a small rise in the next couple of years where people are going to start going to try to make indie teams, and eventually these indie teams may grow to be something bigger. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, good on them. We'll
um
see.
hopefully.
I predict I should go on that like betting prediction website. I
Oh.
predict within the next 5 years Ubisoft will crumble and someone will take their place.
um
Or buy them and make it better.
I mean, technically that's already happened. Tencent technically like is trying to buy them,
No,
aren't
no, no.
they?
Better. Not
There
10 cents.
is no
No, no, no.
better. There is no
No.
better.
It's like I just feel like some
Who's
other company
better
will make it
though?
better. I don't know, some indie company in the next 5 years that suddenly hits it out of the park.
Yeah, but then they become
Like
what they hate.
I mean,
The problem
that's
with big companies like this,
the circle of capitalism.
it's true. Well, the problem with big companies like this is when shareholders become a thing. It's like
Oh
one of
no,
the
that's
reasons
yeah.
why Valve is such a beloved company because they're a private company still. They don't have to
Yeah.
answer to shareholders.
Nope.
Like even
Just
like it's why when Devolver Digital talked about going public a couple of years ago, everyone's like, please don't.
just
Please don't
you're
Devolver
doing
Digital.
you're kicking ass. You
Yeah.
don't need to go. No one needs to go public in the gaming
Well, like
industry
if you like for
because your
what
shareholders aren't your audience.
if you
They're
need
not your buyers.
yeah, the problem is that if you need a huge amount of capital to make something, you do need to go public. But the problem is the video game industry doesn't work like that anymore because
No,
the
because
tools
you
to make video games are so available that 10 people in a garage can now, like 10 people all across the world
they
can do it.
they made that game in a box in a garage
Yeah.
with nothing but scrap. It's
Yeah.
that joke still stands even now for
Yeah.
the indie game industry.
It does.
Also, okay, I wanted to counter one thing that you said about like going public to get finance
Yeah.
for a game.
For a big yeah.
So it may not be guaranteed, and it may not be like you'll get it 100%, but there are what's it called? Group funded, crowd funded. There are crowdfunding
Crowdfunded.
sources,
Sure,
and
Kickstarter and all that
it
type of
has
stuff.
been and it's been proven to work for some indie developers, although some indie
Yeah.
developers have tainted the waters
I
there by
mean that
just
the
like
problem there is that I think Kickstarter is not a good way to start a game. It's a good way to finish your indie game. That's I think a
yeah.
better like okay. Let me put it this way. Depending okay. Wait, let me think for a second. the problem with Kickstarter or crowdfunding sources is because every single MMO project that everyone wants is always pitched on Kickstarter. And the problem is people don't realize you need $300 million at least for that type of game to work. And you're
Mm-hmm.
never getting that through crowdfunding. So like that's the problem I have with Kickstarter. Like there's a bunch of indie games that get funded through crowdfunding. I mean, like some of the darlings of horror games were crowdfunded. Like Darkwood was a crowdfunded game, right? And like a bunch of games were crowdfunded. But the problem is that the big ticket ones, the ones that get millions and millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
those projects actually need hundreds of millions of dollars, not single digits
True.
amounts of millions. So
True.
like if you're as long as
So
you're making a game and you're making an indie game that you truly know how much money you need and you're not over ambitious. I mean, you can be ambitious, but you have to be
so
ambitious like within
you're
your skill level, I guess.
so you're saying there's a shot so long as your aim is not a giant massive MMORPG or some kind of online, always online or something like that.
Something
If
like
you're
that
trying to at
basically.
least make if you're trying to at least make a game,
Yeah.
a start to finish single to maybe multiplayer game
Yeah, co-op
without
game or
having
whatever.
it to yeah, without it having to have a continuous online service, then it is possible for a crowdfunding thing. Possibly.
Well, I mean,
Not saying it's
obviously,
guaranteed
yeah,
at all.
it's
Like I said, it
nothing's
comes with the risks.
nothing is guaranteed. Everything comes with risk, but I'm saying that people, I think, with the crowdfunding sources as well, forget how much money it cost for World of Warcraft to be made. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
no, they
Like World of
just
Warcraft costs,
absolutely.
it was like $150 million in 2006 that
Hmm.
cost for World of Warcraft. So like it's insane. It's like people forget the reason Star Wars The Old Republic was a failure in a lot of ways because it cost like $250 million in 2009 or something like that whenever it came out. Like
Hmm.
the problem is the amount of money that is spent for games like MMOs. And now you're also fighting the fact that people are comparing you to games that have 10 years of content worth and all that type of stuff, and expecting it right away. Also, I think people actually don't like MMOs, but that's a whole different thing because I feel like people just want a rating game, but
Hmm.
refuse to buy games that do that because, like to be fair, there's a lot of players that are playing for fun, but like the community that is allowed is like the rating community most, at least in like terms of World of Warcraft. I know the Final Fantasy 14 community is different, like the cozy MMO player. If you want to be a cozy MMO player, you truly go to Final Fantasy 14. I feel like I think that is the game for you if you just want to play an MMO and be a part of a community. You can find many communities in Final Fantasy 14, but and you can play for free. Not to joke about that meme, but you truly can play for free for a very long time without buying any of the expansions, without going into the meme, the hit game Final Fantasy 14.
Hmm.
um, but speaking of games that are actually good, do we want to start talking about the two reviews that I'm?
Oh, absolutely.
So, do you want to go? Which one do you want to do first? Do you?
Okay?
I
Besides the one
think,
that I did a review on
yeah,
earlier,
I
what's
think, I
yours?
think we'll talk about Windrose first because I think both of us have less to say about it because neither of us
Yeah,
have
I need
more
to.
like we neither of us have experience with it. You've actually played the other game. I've watched
Yeah,
you play the other game. I've watched Windrose. But it's
I need to go
also
try
the
Windrose.
thing with Windrose is the person is less, I guess. Okay, so what we're talking about
The
is
reviewer.
the
You're
reason
talking
I'm
about the
saying this is
reviewer?
because yeah, the
Mm.
reviewer PC
Oh.
Gamer made a article about Windrose, right? Now the reason
Mhm.
I'm saying article is because this isn't actually a review, right? There's no score next to it, and he's not claiming it's a review. To be fair, he is talking about the game in a review like sense, but he's not reviewing it
Mhm.
officially for PC Gamer. So like there's no score. He's not saying whether the game is worth playing or like he's just talking about the game. So you can argue that it's a review, but when people put scores next to things, I consider a review and talking about a game on a website very different, I guess. at least for me personally. Would you agree with me with that statement, or?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. So he is talking about Windrose, right? And his take on it, right, is that he loves pirates, but he hates survival games, basically, right? And he played it, he tried it, he played it for like 4 hours, and he basically said he doesn't enjoy survival games. He really likes the pirate stuff, but the survival games wasn't for him. He didn't like it and stopped playing and wanted to like the title is after 4 hours of pirate survival in Windrose, I'm reinstalling Sea of Thieves, right? And
Yeah, I did. Yep.
yeah, so like for instance, I would be the opposite. I've played Sea of Thieves a couple times. I played with you and Diamond and a couple of things. And basically, unless you guys ask me to play that game, I will never play that game. Because that game to me, without friends, is so boring. Because there's nothing like it's one of those games where I feel like I've almost become bad gaming habit pilled because there's nothing unless you just want to have fun, there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like there is unless you I guess it's also one of those things where I don't care about cosmetics. You know, I don't care about looking cool. I just don't care. So like half the majority of reasons the things you're doing in Sea of Thieves half the time is doing things to get buy more cosmetics. And I just don't care about that. So unless I'm having fun with friends, there's no reason for me to play Sea of Thieves. Windrose, on the other hand, I think when I do eventually get this game, because I probably will, I can see myself playing by myself for many, many hours and then playing a server with you or whoever wants to play. You know what I mean? And like this guy is the opposite of me. You know, he wants to play Sea of Thieves. He wants to be a pirate immediately and be that pirate stuff, you know? And he even talks about the fact that, you know, like, you know, Jack Sparrow, Blackbeard didn't become the king of the sea overnight, but he just doesn't enjoy the survival game mechanics, like, you know, the chopping the trees, the getting the upgrades, the getting the better storage containers, you know, the building and stuff like that. And he acknowledges that it's a hit for other people and not for him. I think he says is what he, like one of the lines in his thing is this is a survival game with a pirate skin. Which I think is a great way to talk about Windrose because it is not a pirate game. It is a survival game with a pirate theme.
With pirate theme. Yep.
If you do not like survival games, I don't think you should buy Windrose. But if you like survival games and you like pirates, this might be the game you've been waiting for when you saw Skull and Bones 10 years ago, and this is the game that you thought of. Skull and Bones turned out not to be the game that it is, but this is the game that you probably thought of. And yeah, like, so I was really annoyed at this guy because, you know, I feel like he was... The reason I was annoyed at him is because even though this wasn't a review, I think he was going into this game knowing he wouldn't like it, and that's strange to me because if you don't really like survival games, I don't see the reason for it. And like the reason he likes, once again, Sea of Thieves is that being a pirate in Sea of Thieves is really fun, but there is zero progression in any way. And like, I'm not saying I need progression for a game, but if the only progression is cosmetic stuff and you can't basically like, I mean, technically you can play Sea of Thieves alone, but like, let's be real. You need some friends to play with it. It's Sea of Thieves is an MMO pirate game, basically. And I think that he was either misinformed or probably just shouldn't have made this article because, like, he obviously doesn't like survival games. And it's like he's talking about this game and like I reread this article a few times, right? And every time he talks about the mechanics of Windrose, I'm like, I'm so down for that. Like the chopping the trees, the getting ores, the building up your base, the getting better upgrades, building your own ammo, building your boat, getting the crew members, the ridiculously difficult combat in Windrose because pigs are boars. I mean, sorry, they're called boars in the game. You think you're worried about the people with guns? No, boars are actually the most difficult enemy in the game. Run away. I've seen literally compilations of people dying to boars because they're so insane. But yeah, so this one wasn't as egregious for me personally because once again, not an official review, just talking about his experience in the game. He also blatantly doesn't like survival games, so I'm more questioning why he made this, other than the fact that he wanted to make a clickbait title because Windrose was really popping off, and you're part of PC Gamer, so obviously you have to talk about the newest games. But like, you're doing an article in the survival and crafting section of the PC Gamer website, and I don't think this person likes survival games or wants a pirate game more than a survival game. But that's not what Windrose is. And though I have to say, at least from the way I see it, the game really does become an adventure pirate game eventually, but you have to deal with the survival game mechanics for a while. But yeah, so that's what I think about the first one, at least. What did you end up looking into it at all?
I have very little experience. I've been meaning to play it, and I'm
Yeah.
still going to. I'm probably going to do it sometime
Oh yeah,
next week.
I'm gonna play Windrose at some
Must
point.
give it a shot.
I'm not gonna buy it anytime soon, unfortunately, because once again, money. But I mean, like Pocket Pair, being published by Pocket Pair, the devs of Pal World. So like they obviously believe in it. Pal World is a good game. This is a good game. it'll be great eventually, I'm sure. So to talk about the next one, oh, I got small again for some reason. To talk about the next one is about Mouse Pie for Hire, which is a boomer shooter. Mouse Pi for Hire, which is a boomer arena shooter released yesterday. Released released the last couple days.
Around the 14th.
Okay, so yeah, released relatively soon. Basically, everyone loves this game. It is super positive on Steam. All the critics love it, except for IGN. IGN gave this game a 6 out of 10, which is really rare for IGN. Like Black Ops 7 got a 7 out of 10. To be fair, Call of Duty scores are always really weird on IGN, so that's really hard to say. But I've read the review. Can't trust them no more. Yeah, I've read the review, and to be fair, I don't think you should ever trust IGN. Let's be real.
Ever.
But I think IGN is still useful, but I just think they're like the Wikipedia for video game reviews, So this reviewer for IGN said the game with mice has too much cheese reference. You kill too many people in this first-person shooter. There isn't enough noir in this game inspired by 1930s Mickey Mouse cartoons. There's too many references to old movies, which is inspired by 1930, but this game is like very blatantly inspired by 1930s movies. There's too many arenas where you have to kill enemies in a boomer arena shooter, and the game is not serious enough to true noir, which I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what true noir is. Also, it's a cartoon. What do you mean true noir? It's not trying to be true noir. It's a cartoon where you play as a mouse. Anyway, for the visual people, or for the people watching on YouTube and the visual people watching on stream, you can see Alchem freaking out, so I'm going to let Alchem let loose. Alchem, go ahead.
Okay. This individual, the reviewer, really wanted an LA noir. He just wanted something that was more. He just wanted a noir-based detective game. He didn't realize that apparently he's seeing the cartoon game with cartoon mice and suddenly asking why is it cartoony. I It is made to be satirical. It
Yeah.
is literally making jokes about the genre of game it is and the genre of like the theme noir. It is literally a spoof on these categories. Like near the beginning, Jack Pepper, your character has made comments and jokes about game mechanics. He literally, in one of the boss fights, makes the joke of like, "So what? Am I gonna fight this thing 3 times?" And because that is a trope of gaming, and yes, you do. It's funny because you do that anyway. And there are references to like old time, like they do subtle. Unless you like really know your stuff, unless you really know your noir history or movie history and stuff, they do make references to stuff like that. But that's tongue-in-cheek play because this is what it is. It's a satirical comedy based on like the noir setting. I mean, hell, I posted something about it because was so caught off guard that they did a potion seller reference in the game. That caught me off guard. And the review, like the review's biggest gripes seem to be cartoon and noir make no sense. Like they talk about the mechanics
Well,
briefly.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
they say the mechanics are solid, and because
yeah.
they are very solid. And their biggest gripe is mostly like why my things why they make so much cheese. My brother in Christ, they are literally mice. The world is mice. They will make these jokes. Like what did you think? The mice are just going to get constantly drunk on booze? No, they if anything, they'd be more cheese oriented or like I don't know, something more that mice would be more like prone to want and desire. So yes, they would make cheese jokes. They would say cheese, literally cheesy puns, not figuratively,
Yeah.
cheesy. Like they'd say, like there's a line where they introduce the girl, like the because there's always the noir thing where it's like my life was going fine when suddenly that dame walked by the door in my office. They do that joke. They do that trope, and he starts talking about this girl who walks in like she had a voice as deep as Gargonzola, and but because yes, they're mice. They will reference it to cheese. But I feel like the reviewer just thought it was like graining to them to hear constant mice puns and cheese jokes, because that was like one of the biggest things he mentions. Like I said, I didn't see much in ways of like him having gripes about the mechanics. Um, he didn't really there was no complaint about, yeah, like I said, gameplay, about the flow. It was more just the jarring connection between the art style of it being cartoony noir, and so you have these cartoony mice just getting their heads blown off, and I'm like, yeah, because it's supposed to be a weird little satire of a serious thing, noir and the cartoons, and so they also were like going on about why does my noir have so much violence? Why is this guy just going around killing everyone? Because what do you want? You wanted a series? I think you wanted a serious novel story game
He
where
wanted
you
LA
play
Noir too.
as, yeah.
That's
He
what he
wanted
wanted.
LA Noir 2. He didn't want, if it didn't have the arena boomer shooter style, I think they'd be a little happier. But I just feel like deep down his major gripe was just these two things just didn't work for him, so he didn't like it. Like from what
I
I've played,
think,
and I'm not done. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, from what I played and what I so far, and like I said, I haven't finished. I still have more. I'm getting pulled into the story more and more as time progresses. At first, I'm like, "Huh, I wonder where we're going with this." Weird that we're get pulled in for the first case is just like kind of weird, but then
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the connections between so many things. I'm starting to see the world liven up. I'm starting to see one. I am impressed that this game in this day and age, because this is an indie. Wait, is this an indie game? I don't
It is
know.
an indie game. Yeah. It's made by like
This
one
is
guy, I'm pretty sure.
this is a fully voice acted mini game. They got Troy Baker as the main character. So I'm just like, you had some pull, or I mean, good choice in the voice acting there, but most of the characters are voice acted. I don't expect this in my indie games. I don't expect voice acting in a lot of indie games. So I live stream this, so I'm expecting, okay, time to try to develop a grungy detective noir sounding kind of voice. But no, I suddenly hear our main character start talking, and I'm just pleasantly surprised. And it's not just him; it's all these NPCs have lines. The one, I mean, granted, it's like the typical like old school games where they have like one or two sets of lines. Then when you're done talking to them, they're like, "Can I help you?" And then they just repeat that line again and again. But that's far more than I expected, and I give them praise for that. I I think my only
Um.
part that I agreed
Okay,
with
wait. I'm
them,
just gonna interrupt one
yeah,
second.
yes,
It looks like. Oh, okay. Wait. They, after doing some quick thing, I think it's a small team in Poland that made the game, and they do have a publisher. So like, they're not broke.
okay.
There's not one guy, but there is some funding behind it, obviously. So like, but yeah, it's a small team. Small
It
team at
still
best.
stands, and I'm very impressed that
Yeah.
they have a full on
Yeah. Small team at
voice
best.
acting.
So, or sorry, I interrupted.
Uh,
I just wanted to say that.
yeah, no,
Continue
you're
on.
fine.
Continue on.
The only thing I can mildly agree on, but this wouldn't impact the score of the game. I would give it a 7 or 8, 7.5 or 8.
Yeah.
But the only thing I could even like mildly agree on with them is I kind of wish there was more in the detective aspect of it,
Yeah.
because there is a small little mini game where you go to your office and you start putting the clues that you find in the level on your board to try to make connections to see like where you need to go next. But you really don't do anything. You just kind of just put the thing on the board, and then your character's, I see. This is what it means. We have to go there. And I'm like, okay, sure, all right. It was just, it's kind of like unnecessary to do, unless, I mean, I guess for story advancement, but it just feels like I wish there was more for us to do. Like, think what's that one game from the same people who made Heavy Rain? Oh
Uh,
no,
heavy.
no, it isn't Heavy Rain. It's,
Heavy rain.
yeah, the same
The
team that
one
made
about
Heavy Rain.
the one about
The
the
robot.
robot.
Yeah, the one with
Detroit
the
Become
robot.
Human.
Detroit Become, no, is it Detroit? Yeah, it is Detroit Become Human. I kind of wish they did something like Detroit Become Human, where there's that mini game where Connor has to like figure out the clues based on what he's learned so
Okay.
far, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
trying. I wish they did something like that, but that's me just wanting more from this game because I liked where they were going from it. So I wouldn't take a point away from that. But to just say you don't like it because you just didn't like the genre, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the
From
artwork is fine, the mechanics is fine. There were no flaws there. It's just they just didn't like the two genres,
yeah.
or they didn't like the mixture of the two genres.
I think the problem this guy has is apparent. Okay, so apparently this person, the reviewer
Mhm.
itself, is a big noir
No, no,
connoisseur.
yeah, you could tell
You
that
can tell
from
he
how he
loves
explains.
noir games and noir, not just
Yep,
games, noir content. This
he loves
game is
content. Yep,
not noir. This
it's a
game is
spoof.
it's the Mickey Mouse version of noir. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
trying to be serious. And I think the problem is that like I don't know how you watch the trailer of this game and expect a serious game. I would love to talk to this guy and ask, what were you expecting when you saw this game? Like, he was obviously extremely disappointed because the game wasn't as serious as he thought it was going to be. There was too much shooting. There's too much killing in terms of like stuff like that. There was too many like killing a lot of people and then nothing happening about it. But I'm just curious to think because I want to ask this guy, what were you expecting when you saw this game? Like, I understand, you should try to like, games should try to be more than just what you expect. But like that's what we should be talking to the games that have $1 million budgets, you know?
Yeah,
Or multi-million dollar budgets. Like who knows? This game, like I said, this game did have some money behind it. Like it wasn't like
yeah,
like one guy doing his
but it's
best.
not a. It's
But it's
not the
not.
huge industry games that
Yeah,
we've grown used to.
it's not. It's just I think from what I can tell doing some research, a small team in Poland with a publisher. So like
Mm-hmm.
they and like you said, they had Troy Baker in it, so like they had some money. But like the I can understand being a fan of a genre and getting a game in that genre and not being happy about it. I live
Yeah.
that life with Dungeons and Dragons and every single Dungeons and Dragons video game because they all suck until Baldur's Gate 3 came out, basically. And some indie game and some like smaller team games, true, like Celeste and stuff like that, but they're basically you go from 90s video games, like 90s to early 2000s video games for D&D, and then you go to straight to like 20 like 18. Like whenever Baldur's Gate 3 came out, Celeste came out, for the D&D nerds there. But like there's such a
Yeah.
huge gap between good D&D video games for a lot of people. And like I can get that. I can understand being annoyed, but like I I'm not going into Baldur's Gate 3 and being complaining that there's too much dialogue. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like this is on the cusp
This is
of.
all. Yeah.
Like it's the
Yeah. No.
same
This
thing of
is.
like going into an RPG and saying there's too much role playing.
There's
Why
too
can't
much
I?
water in my Pokemon game.
Yeah. Or
This
like
is this is the same kind of style of gripe.
it's so strange to me that this person obviously wanted a different video game with this type of
Mhm.
thing. But like also
Yeah.
like I said, I want to ask this guy, what were you expecting? But I oh god. Oh my god, sorry, my throat just died there. 1 second.
The rage has consumed Jelly.
But I also think this is a failure of the 1 to 10 system in
Mhm.
scoring. Because I hate how IGN still uses this 1 to 10 system. I wish it was either 1 to 100 or a letter grade or something like that, because or it's like the stupid sites that still use the 5-star system, because the problem with the 1 to 10 system is that no one cares about numbers 1 to 5. If you're 5, you're a failure. If you're 6, you're a failure. Like 7 is good, and after that it's like good, great, and amazing, basically, right? Like the
Mhm.
that's a problem with the letter grade. Like if this was a letter grade system and he gave this game a B, I think people would have been fine. They'd been annoyed because I think people think it's higher than that. But like a 6 is like a C or a D sometimes, depending on how you grade stuff. So like this game is not that bad. Just because this game wasn't a serious LA Noire 2 doesn't, which it never tried to claim to be, by the way, doesn't mean that this game deserves this grade. I feel like this I think this guy got really hopeful for a serious noir game for some reason when he saw this game,
And got crushed. Yeah.
because like some of his complaints make no sense. Like he talks
Mhm.
about how like your main character kills dozens and dozens and dozens of people and like nothing happens about that. I'm like, yeah, it's it's a Doom like boomer shooter. Like, and then you
I don't
apparently
think they hit
I
that
don't
fact.
yeah, like I don't know where you are in the game. So he talks about fighting certain, maybe potentially
The robot.
bosses. So I won't
Yeah.
talk about it. But like
Yeah.
he talks about
Oh
fighting
no, I know what you're
characters.
talking about.
He talks about fighting characters that makes no sense, and that like it never explains stuff like that. But yeah, but like that's not this type of game. Like you're not supposed to take it super seriously. And
Mhm.
I just feel like it's strange. Like you should never trust too much in terms of video game reviewers, in my opinion, unless they're just showing like video game reviewers when it comes to most things is show me gameplay. Does it function? Because unfortunately you can't guarantee that nowadays. And tell me about the game, you know? But this guy obviously was a super fan of noir content, and this is not noir. Like, sure, the graphic style and stuff like that is noir like, but it's not a noir game. Like, it's not LA Noir. It's not a narrative game. You're playing as a mouse. You're playing as totally not Mickey Mouse characters, you know? Like, it
Yeah.
is not trying to not be that. So, like, honestly, the only thing I could say about it is that I can potentially agree with is the over reliant on referencing things, because I can get that can be annoying, but like in the trailer and stuff like that, this game is very obviously going to be referencing things constantly. Like
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking of. Like I wish I would love to know what he knew about this game before he reviewed it, because like this game was popping off for a long time. Like in terms of trailers,
Mhm.
I follow the dev. Like
Yeah.
I was one of the
Same.
people that followed the dev like I think 3 or 4 years ago when he started talking about this game, and like I'm probably gonna get it myself at some point because this game sounds really fun. But like, yeah, this was obviously a very frustrating review for a lot of people. It's very notable, um, and bringing up to people why like this is one of the reasons why no one cares about these gaming websites anymore, because they're just so disconnected from what people actually think. Now,
God, I feel like
I
they
think the
just needed a
problem,
peer review, and they would have been fine.
either a peer review or like, I think the problem is the reason this guy is giving this game a low score is not because the game is actually bad. It's because this is not a game that this person wants. But that's not the game's fault. It never tried to
Hmm.
pretend. It's not like if this game's trailer was super serious and like pretended to not be an arena boomer shooter. I hate the term boomer shooter, but I don't know how else to explain it. Like if they were trying not to show that this is what this game is, then I think this guy had more of a what's it called, like hill to stand on. But this game has never not pretended to be this.
No.
So like the fact that this game was a good version of what it tried to be and this guy was not okay with that, that's stupid. Like come on man. Like everyone has their point of view, but like you're writing fan fiction. He's just writing fan fiction, I feel like sometimes,
Hmm.
about what this
Hmm.
game, what he wants this game to be. It's like when I
Yeah.
talk about D&D video games, what I wish they could have done.
Sure wish that they could have done all that. No, no. It's
Yeah.
like I said, this guy just kind of had a wishful thinking mentality of what he thought it would be.
Yeah.
It is not what they thought it would be, and just no.
Yeah. And that is what we're gonna talk about. That's all the topics for today. Honestly, there is one thing I want to say, Alchem. I started playing Pragmita, the sci-fi
Ah!
game, and
Yeah.
it might be on my game of the year list. I'm going to be real.
Ah, I want to get it so bad.
I
It's
was
like the
gifted to Zeke bought it for me, so for my birthday. So I
I
started
know.
playing it
Happy
today.
birthday.
Yeah. So like it honestly,
Hmm.
like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it it might be on my game of the year yes list. Also, Outcome, I'm gonna shock you, and gonna tell you this. I'm using a controller playing this game because I think controller is
No,
the
it's
way.
better. It's
It is
better. I tried
so
it on the
much better.
demo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so much better on controller. I struggled through the demo using the PC controllers, and I'm like, why did? Well, I don't know. At the time, my controller didn't work. That's why. So it is a
Uh,
super fun game. I'll talk about it more. Hopefully, when we both play it, we'll talk about it more. Because I want to start doing that. I want to
yeah.
talk about
Hopefully.
games that I want to start doing that. I'll have to talk about you about that. But anyway, why don't you do some shout outs, Malcolm?
I mean, okay. So shout out to everyone popping in on the stream for the live stream. For those coming in on through my community, thank you so much. If you guys have started to wander in on my streams via the podcast itself, thank you. My name is Alchem. I'm a little Tanuki VTuber. I tend to play a wide variety of different games. In fact, we've been playing a lot of, well, we just started Mouse for Hire, Mouse PI for Hire. I also tend to venture into VR chat, which I'm planning to do right after the podcast, actually. You can catch me here on Twitch, usually after like 5 p.m. weekdays, usually. Where I just stream with friends, stream on my own. I'm trying to. I have a lot of events that I need to do soon that I owe, and I have a lot of plans soon that I hopefully can get to work on, and I hope you guys all enjoy when that happens. If you ever want to, you can go check out my TikTok channel or my YouTube Shorts channel, where I post a lot of fun highlights from the streams. I'm also trying to work on my own little short form content over there. And you can also check out Twitter, where I'm posting a lot of stuff, whether it's model updates, just simple photos that I take in VR, shorts, my own opinions on stuff, or whatever goofy thing I tend to find. You can catch me on that. And if for those watching and you wish to support me, there's always on stream for Twitch, there's bits and donations. There's also PayPal. There's also Patreon and Coffee. There's all that stuff if you ever want to support. But in any case, the biggest support you can always do is just simply watch the live streams on my side. And also, please don't forget to always support the podcast by just watching either here live or, well, more importantly, go watching on YouTube and watching on Spotify.
Technically, we're listening on Spotify.
Huh? Wait, we're not on Spotify yet?
No, technically, we're listening on Spotify.
Oh, good. We're listening. Good. Then, yes. Well, the point is that they're watching and supporting through those channels. And also, one of these days on Apple. No, we're not.
Hopefully. When they realize I'm a real person.
Hopefully, when they realize Jelly is not just a slime, but they are an individual.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And as always, you can always catch me here Saturdays. Usually Saturdays, unless we have to change stuff. And we'll let you know, of course. But co-hosting here alongside the TechnoJelly for the Two Buds One podcast. And now Jelly will take it away for the rest of the wrap-up.
Hello, everyone. I am the TechnoJelly. Please subscribe to the Two Buds One podcast YouTube channel if you are currently watching it. I really appreciate it. If you do, it really helps us out. Like the video. Comment down below what you guys would like to hear us talk about, or if you're interested in any of those. You can also comment on Spotify as well, so you can do that as well. If you enjoy me ranting about things, I do that on my own YouTube channel called TheTechnojelly. I do news videos similar to the stuff that I talk about here on Mondays, as well as video essays on Fridays. Recently, I've been doing a lot of videos on the video game media, outside of video games. So I've been talking about the Sonic movies. I got through all 3 of them. The Mario movie, I'm going to be talking about the new Mario Galaxy movie, and then we're going to be moving on to things like Fallout, Arcane, all that good stuff. So yeah, come to the channel over there and check me out. I also have a TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, all that good stuff, all at the TechnoJelly. If you'd like support directly, please go over to Patreon at patreon.com/TheTechnoJelly. We do a once a month live stream, as well as a name in your credits as they're going across the screen right now. If you'd like to support super directly, I have a coupon code TechnoJelly at poggers.shop, linked in the description. You get a 10% discount with their hydration, energy drink, and sleep aid mixes, as well as their shaker cups. They have a pre-order going on right now for a new flavor, if you would like to check that out, as well as reinstating some sold out flavors as well. And I think you can go vote on that on their Twitter or website. I can't remember. I think it might be both. So go check that out. Poggers.shop, linked in the description. 10% off with my code TechnoJelly. That is going to be it for us for episode 76 of Two Buds One podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Bye.